16. And how good a year has Drew Holiday been having? Serious consideration for an all-NBA team. And then, oh, look at the good teammate tossing it back to the freak who throws it down. Milwaukee by 18. Then watch this pass from Giannis. Oh, my goodness. The dish inside to Brook Lopez. And Milwaukee's lead 16 there. Now we're midway through the third. Sixers trying to fight back. Harden for Embiid. Embiid with 28 points. They cut it to as close as 6, but that would be as close as they would get. Giannis just too good. Back to 10 after the free throw. Time winding down in the third now. Giannis in the lane with authority, throws it down. A 14-point lead headed to the fourth quarter, and then more of the same in the fourth. Giannis, he's putting it all on display. 33 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists, and Milwaukee wins at 117-104. The Bucks now 17-5 after a loss this season. That's the best record of its kind in the NBA, and their magic number, as you see there, to clinch the 1 seed in the East is down to 3. So any combination of 3 Milwaukee wins or Boston losses, and the Bucks will get that all-important 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. So let me bring Zach Lowe into the conversation here. We'll have RJ in the studio a little bit. But, Zach, what was the statement that the Bucks made on their home floor against Philly yesterday?
Yeah, look, the reality is this. Milwaukee was coming off an absolute spanking at the hands of Boston, so they're mad. Both of these teams, more or less, barring disaster or miracle, were locked into the 1 and 3 seed. So there wasn't as much at stake as you would hope for. But the Bucks reminded us we are the favorites to win the NBA title this season. Forget what happened against Boston last week. 5 games in 7 nights. Forget that. This is us. Giannis reminded us, hey, I'm part of the MVP conversation too. It's not just the 2 centers. And Greeny, your little Drew Holiday All-NBA reference, spoken like a man with a ballot who is losing sleep at night trying to figure out what to do. And you're right, he does have an All-NBA case.
It is brutal. I mean, I'm honest. It's only my second year as a voter, and I am taking it as seriously as it can possibly be taken. And you are right. I will not hand in mine until after the regular season is over, because there are still a few things to be decided. That said, quickly, and again, we'll have RJ in here a little bit later, but that 1 seed feels critical. Yes, avoiding Boston and Philly until the conference final, not having to go through 2 of the big boys to get in there, and getting that all-important 7th game at home. That 1 seed feels critical for the Bucks.
Well, especially after last year when they punted having Game 7 at home in the second round, and it came back to haunt them. Let me channel my inner Richard Jefferson. No disrespect to the Cleveland Cavaliers, but yes, that number 1 seed is massively valuable, because I'd like to avoid the heavyweights until I have to face them. And in case I make the NBA Finals, it looks like I'm going to have the home court advantage there too. I think it's a very, very valuable number 1 seed.
All right, Zach, stay close by. I'm coming back to you as we go. And again, Richard will be here. We'll do the Western Conference coming up a little later in the hour. But by the way, I want to just give you a little taste, a little eye candy of something we can all look forward to in the NBA next year. And that is Victor Wembanyama, who will be the first pick in next year's draft. Watch this. 3-pointer, no good. Oh, he gets his own rebound. And so, Zach, what? Is that a human being?
My friends who are not big NBA fans ask me, what is this French kid everyone's all of a sudden talking about? And I tell them, if you watch his highlights, you might think it's like a CGI character from a movie or something. You've never seen anything like this guy ever. And boy, oh boy, that draft lottery in Chicago in May is going to be a lot of fun.
People have been telling me he's like if Kevin Durant was 4 inches taller. That's who this kid is. We will see. All right, Zach, stay close by. We'll come back.
They were like the number 1 defensive efficient team in the league. I think maybe people would feel different.
It might be different, Max. You're right about that. But, I mean, if you're the Los Angeles Lakers, you're looking at them as the mark. Like, this is a team that we can best based on how we play defense and the fact that our star players have competed and won championships. I think that's got to be a part of the math when you consider whether or not you're going to play AD on a back-to-back. But, guys, last night was not even the most impressive performance that we saw from the Lakers this weekend. What they did on Friday against the Timberwolves, I mean, and that was a game where the T-Wolves got up for it. Like, the T-Wolves in the first half of that game gave the Lakers their best punch, and it didn't matter. And when you have AD and Braun doing what they were doing, and then the supporting cast, Malik Beasley included, knocking down shots, This is going to be a hard out in the Western Conference playoffs. It is.
But Chris, you see, you're talking about even like in the game against Houston last night, like AD took 20 shots. There's a sense of aggressiveness.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
you Chris Canty, you know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
There are times we watch games. If you and I are watching games together, like, there he goes again. There he's on that beat. There he goes again. Look, being passive. Why? But when AD comes out and he's aggressive, he's shooting his shot, he's attacking the rim, you're like, just stay that way. Just be that player consistently. Because if he is aggressive in nature, they are a team that has a chance. I said it to win a world title, man.
I agree. I don't just think they're a tough out. I think they are live to win it.
Jay, let me ask you this question as the resident Lakers fan in all of this. With AD being aggressive and playing the way that he did this weekend, especially last night, does that lend itself to the Lakers getting the best version of LeBron James at this stage in his career?
No, it does, because it lends to you getting the best version of LeBron in the highest clutch moments, which is what he needs, right? So think about it. LeBron, for most of his career, Chris, has had to carry the load from beginning to end. So now you're telling me if there's somebody that can carry that torch that allows LeBron in the highest magnitude moments of a game to have legs to be available where he typically is worn down, like, that's what he needs at this stage at 38 years old. So it sets him up for success during the playoff run when you need him the most. And that's what you've been asking for, AD. Be that guy throughout the regular season. Take the load off LeBron. But in the highest clutch moments, it allows LeBron to be LeBron.
Hey, guys, Anthony Davis. I know, listen, PER, I would say whatever you want about it, but it's a pretty good shorthand. Like when people, hey, points, rebounds, assists, this, that.
Yeah.
You want to talk about possessions and how efficient you are with them. Usually if you're above 25, you start to get into MVP class, and AD has missed a bunch of games. He's played in 52 of them this year. His PER is over 28.
Ooh.
Right? He's averaging close to 27 points, 12 and a half boards a game with a couple blocks. Like when AD is on the floor, more often than not this year, he has been AD. That's one of the very best players in basketball. Now you got LeBron and legitimately 4 other genuine NBA rotation pieces of a playoff team. I don't just think they're a tough out. I agree with Jay. I think, Chris, they could chip up. I wouldn't make them the favorite or the second, but like there are a lot of teams you say they have no chance to win a championship.
Yeah.
Lakers are not one of those teams.
No, they're not one of those teams. And I know I've been on the Golden State bandwagon for a while, but I was underwhelmed the fact that Golden State couldn't get it done against the Nuggets with no Jokic yesterday. It came down to a last-second